Hello, my name is A.G. Bond, and like always, I don't care who you are, but today I'm going to talk with you about the theory behind spring-loaded paintball guns, the truth of it, in fact. But before I do so, I would like to catch you up on how I got to this point. Recently, JT Paintball came out with a series of markers that was made for little kids. Now, what was so special about these markers were that they didn't use any compressed air, as in no CO2, no nitrogen, no HPA. It was all, they were all, well, in dumbest terms, I mean, they were all self-containing units. And actually, I have one right here with me. This is their second generation of it, a shotgun-like thing. I think it's called the JTZ200, I believe. It's just a little shotgun, and all you have to do to load a paintball is to just cock it, and it'll be ready to fire. I mean, there's no place to put CO2 in it. I mean, I know some paintball markers they want to put it right there, but all this is self-contained. And it got me to thinking, what if there was a more serious version of this? One that's made for adults? Well, it got me to thinking, and you know what, there would actually be a market for something like that. I mean, let's face the facts that paintball is not exactly a beginner's friendly sport. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you have to learn, there's a lot of stuff you have to do to maintain, to maintain playing the sport as a beginner. So I thought, just why don't we make a self-contained unit like this one, but make it for adults. So I did a little bit of research, thought a lot actually, and I thought, well, there's two ways I can do this. Either do it like this, or make a design based off of this with a compressed chamber inside, powered by a single spring, or I could just do a spring-powered paintball gun itself, as in just a large piston, a single spring, and the spring just throws it. There's no compressed air. There's nothing. Just a spring launching a paintball. And I thought, well, I'm going to try that out. Just the simpler the better, I thought. So I did a little bit of physics. Yeah, a little bit of physics. Yes, I did take physics. Failed it once. Did it twice, got an A, so I guess that's good enough for me. But anyways, I need to find, first of all, how much energy is needed to launch a paintball. And at the time I thought, well, a good marker or feet per second would probably be 200. So how much energy would it take to launch a paintball at 200 feet per second? Well, first of all, in physics, most calculations are done in the metric system. And in all honesty, yeah, that actually worked a lot better than the English system. So I had to convert. 200 feet per second equals 61 meters per second. And once I have my feet or meters per second, I did what's called the mechanical energy theorem. Now, under the theorem, I could go into this all day, but I'm just going to try and cut it short. After doing the theorem, I found out that I needed 5.28 joules. Joules is just a measurement of energy. Okay, I thought, how can I transition that into a spring? Well, first of all, I had to find a spring. Well, I had to find the heaviest spring I could think of, and the heaviest spring that I can get my hands on readily, believe it or not, was an AR-15 buffer spring. The one I got is a rifle length, a 12.75 inch spring, and I went back to now that I had a spring, I went back to my mechanical energy theorem. Had to figure out its K constant. Well, it's K, which stands for spring constant, or it's just a fancy word for how strong it is. I found the buffer tube spring to have a K value of 255.69 Newton meters. Now I chugged that into the equation, and I found out that I needed a displacement of the spring of 8.004 inches. I thought, okay, that's feasible. So I went to the store, grabbed the AR buffer tube, went to a hardware store, grabbed my PVC piping, and I went ahead and made a mock-up. But what I was ultimately trying to do, actually, let me show you what my plans were on it. Here it is. This is what I was trying to do. I was trying to create a single chamber PVC pipe that fed into a small paintball size barrel. And the theory was just take the spring back with a large piston and just let it sling the paintball. And if it worked, I was going to try and go with something that looks a little bit like this later on down the line. That's ultimately what I was trying to accomplish. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, that looks a lot like a submachine gun. Well, I did that on purpose. I did a cross between the grease gun and the Sten. I'm not sure what model series or what model numbers or versions they were called, but both submachine guns from World War II. Well, that's because when I really get down to the design, both my paintball marker and these machine guns operate pretty much the same way. You have a single spring right here. You have for my marker, you had a large piston, but for submachine guns, all you had was just a bolt with a fixed firing pin. The theory was you just cock this thing back, and you let the trigger just release it and let it do its own business and whatnot. Well, I thought, so I just had a little bit of a brain fart. I wasn't really planning on making this video, but you get what I'm saying. This is what I was trying to make. And before I did that, I had to make a mock-up. Now, this was what I was ultimately trying to build. There's no magazine or tube system in it, and there's no trigger system. I was trying to make this as simple as possible, just to get the raw power of it. And you can see the AR buffer tube spring in there. Actually, I'm going to take this apart just to show you the piston and everything like that. This is the piston itself. It's a little crude right now, but I'm going to explain later why it works like this. But it was pretty simple. Actually, let me see if I can put this. A nail fell out. This is where you put the nail and technically the bolt handle. Hang on 1 second. There we go. Put it all back together. There it is. And that was it. I mean, you just pull this back and you just let it go. And I thought that maybe this will have a chance, maybe it will work, but unfortunately I was wrong. It just didn't provide the performance. I mean, it just didn't provide the range that I wanted to. Well, it was just kind of a letdown, in all honesty. Now, when I first tried this, I was like, wait a minute, what the heck? I thought this was getting nowhere near the 200 feet per second like I thought it was. So I went back to thinking, why is this not working? I went back to my notes and I found my mistake. The mechanical energy theorem, it needed a mass of the object that needed to be propelled to 200 feet, well, 61 meters per second. And I found out that I only calculated the mass of the paintball. I did not calculate the mass of the bolt that also needed to go 200 feet per second. Now I thought, okay, I made a little bit of mistake. Here's an idea. Try and cut down on the weight. So I started sawing it. Just trying to take every little piece of it as I could off that wouldn't compromise the strength. But unfortunately, it just was not enough. I mean, I've tried it. I've tried everything to make this bolt as light as possible. But the fact of the matter is, a large spring just isn't going to cut it. And I tell you what, I'm going to try this out just to show you that what it looks like. I even tried to take out try to make a small bolt handle as possible. Unfortunately, I can't pull this back with my own hand all the way without cutting myself open. I mean, that's a nasty little thing to go through your hand. I mean, you can probably see, yeah, just... so I went ahead and grabbed this wrench. I forgot the name of it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go out and test it. Just to show you. Let's see. Here we go. We got 2 paints. Ready to go. Now, well, all I did was I just threw the paint into the barrel. Went ahead and got the wrench, grabbed the nail, and pulled it back. Pulled it back all the way. See, it didn't go that far. Let's try that again. Move out of the way, dear. So we're trying to do this with the camera. Maybe 20 feet. Maybe 20 feet. So, the truth is, there's enough power theoretically, but there just isn't. It's just too inefficient. You can't make this efficient enough to launch it at the rate or at the velocity that you would expect. So that was just one little failed experiment, and I hope that anyone else that was thinking about doing this would see this video and realize that it's just not possible. Oh well, ultimately this only cost me $25. I mean, most of it was with the AR buffer tube. I spent $19.50 on it, believe it or not. I know that's a tad steep, but oh well, that's the price you pay for knowledge. By the way, before I go, yeah, that was a deer. Yeah, a deer just standing right next to me, but oh well. Well, I'm glad. Thank y'all for watching the video, so I'm heading on out.